They became the spiritual embassies of what became the enemy and gave authorization for the actual physical silver key jurisdiction over the land. Jurisdiction, you have to get the land. You have to get the land, and that therefore gives you jurisdiction, because all bondage, feudalism, serfism is all people bonded to the land. That's bondage. We were under bondage because they took our land. Okay, let's move on. Damn, what the hell I'm at? Okay, here we go.
Because if we were human, then the system couldn't be justified. So they rewrote what it meant to be human. White supremacy wasn't born out of slavery. It was born with it. By the 1700s, America wasn't using slavery. It was running on it. Cotton, tobacco, sugar, every dollar was built on black backs. And our bodies weren't just labor, they were capital. You could borrow money against an enslaved person, insure them, trade them. Black women were forced to give birth, not for family, but for profit. They turned wombs into factories. Wall Street involved. Banks invested. Universities funded by it. Presidents benefited. This wasn't a broken system. This was the system. People love to call it America's original sin. But sin sounds like a mistake. This wasn't a mistake. This was a blueprint. A system designed to extract everything from Black life. Labor, language, names, lineage, and leave us buried in unmarked graves. And after they took everything, they rewrote the story to make themselves look like heroes. So no, chattel slavery wasn't about labor. It was about domination, reproduction, and inheritance. It wasn't just brutal. It was intentional, legal, and profitable. And it didn't end when it was abolished. It just evolved into prisons, into housing policies, into generational theft. So you want to talk about American values? Well, this was the first one. And this country has been protecting it ever since.
And she said housing policies, right? Here we go. We're going to run this back.
Buchanan v. Worley involved an African American's attempt to purchase property on an integrated block where there were already 2 black and 8 white households. The court majority was enamored of the idea that the central purpose of the 14th Amendment was not to protect the rights of freed slaves, but a business rule, freedom of contract.
There go that word contract again. But hold on. We ain't going to stop there. I got my man Boson that's going to tell y'all, out of everything that's changed in the Western world, with everybody, only one thing has remained constant. Check this out.
If they use their own resources, their own minerals, their own materials for their own industries, well, the entire economy of the West would collapse. And with the collapse of their economy, their whole so-called civilization would collapse. Africa is the foundation upon which they built their house. So they know this. And like I said, this is why no matter what else changes in the world, no matter how power dynamics shift in the world, the subjugation of Africa has been maintained for over 800 years. There's literally nothing more important to them than this. And this is why there are very powerful factions in the West that want to destroy BRICS, and why they fearmonger about Chinese investment in Africa, and why America specifically is engaged in non-stop interference, covert operations, regime change, regime infiltration projects all across the continent.